What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I can't believe I'm doing this. I'm going to be defending, to the extent that I will go here, Uncharted scores on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, here's the deal. I want to come across very transparent. I want to make sure we're all kind of on the same page. So I haven't seen this movie yet. It is out in the UK. Actually, several of the people that have followed me, they've reached out to me. They've told me what they think about it, which I will bring in this video. But that came out, obviously, this past Friday. I think there's, like, early screenings and stuff people can go see. I'm going to be seeing this movie Thursday night. I will let you guys know immediately on Twitter, and then probably do either a late-night review or a very early morning on Friday review of Uncharted. So you'll know how I feel about it very, very soon. But I want to just talk about the Rotten Tomatoes thing because it was something that obviously popped up and everybody kind of got upset, or everybody at least had their eyes on it. And what's funny is it's actually gone up. So I think when it first started, it was a 40. It was a 40 out of 100 on Rotten Tomatoes. It's actually crawled its way right now up to a 50 based off of 26 reviews. Now, that's an incredibly small number of reviews. And although this is like a movie adaptation, based off of a game, like, it's gonna get more reviews. You look at reviews of just any other movie that's on this this website, and it normally has like over 100, for the most part. So I think, and I feel like it was last night that more are gonna be added. So this review could kind of jump all over the place. Maybe even by the time you guys are seeing this this video, could be maybe in the 50s, 60s, 70s, maybe even, or it could actually plummet and be in like the 30s and 40s. But I want to just say some things, okay? Nobody should actually care about Rotten Tomatoes. Not a single soul on the face of the earth. And I had people reach out to me actually and say, because I defended this on Twitter, I was like, 50 isn't really all that bad. Now, you have to remember the scores on Rotten Tomatoes of 50% just means half and half. If you like the movie, you basically give it what Rotten Tomatoes would consider a 100, and if you don't like it, you would give it a 0, and then it averages out. Now, the individual reviews, you can look at what they gave. Some gave it a 2 out of 5, or so like a 4 out of 10. Some gave it a 3 out of 5. That's really most of it. I either see people giving it a 2 out of 5 stars or a 3 out of 5 stars, right? So that's a 4 to a 6 out of 10. So really, the Rotten Tomatoes average kind of does equal out. But again, remember, that's not how it actually works. That's not how the average works. But, I had people reach out to me because I defended it on Twitter, and just the fact of, like, 50 isn't all that bad. Like, there's my favorite movie of all time, okay? This could be controversial, is Pirates of the Caribbean 3. The third Pirates film is and that, if you want to leave off of that, that's totally cool. But I think that one has like a 44, 46 on Rotten Tomatoes. So, I never care what scores these movies, or really anything, games too, what they have on these sites, okay? It doesn't matter. But 50 really isn't all that bad. There's movies that have 60s, 70s, 80s that are horrible, in my opinion. They're just bad. Then there's also movies that have 30s, 40s, 50s that are good. So really, review scores and shit, this is kind of just like an ad for free will, for free thinking. Think on your own, make your decisions based off of, how you feel, or trusted people, trusted YouTubers, or trusted this or that. I don't really think, again, Rotten Tomatoes is worth it. I don't really think it really gives all that much out. But, you can look at other movies. Like, I looked for fun. I was like, all right, Death on the Nile. Death on the Nile is a movie that really is not making a lot of money, right? Nobody's really throwing around the word like it's bombing, but it kind of is, because it made like 12 million domestically in the first week. That's pretty horrible, at least, I don't know, based off of what I think of it. A lot of people are leaning into Gal Gadot's acting in it, not being very, happy with it or pleased with it, right? So, like, I don't think Death on the Nile is being received all that well. And not that movies have to be judged, or merits of the movies have to be based off how much money it makes, because it absolutely doesn't. But just for context, that got a 66. 66 based off of 190 reviews. It actually got an 82 somehow with audience scores. So I guess the 10 people that went to see it in theaters also reviewed it and gave it a perfect score. That's just kidding, by the way. Please don't get too mad. But that's just how it is. You know what I mean? You're gonna have a movie like that. So is Death on the Nile better But Uncharted, I've heard better things about Uncharted than Death on the Nile. Now, again, it's subjective. It's all subjective. But what I've noticed, okay, now I want to talk about a little bit of the specifics, and I'll get out of your way, have you guys, enjoy the rest of your day. I've had people reach out to me, and they've actually all liked it. I think 3 or 4 different people have reached out to me, and they said, I saw it, or I'm going to see it, or whatever, and then I, came back and was like, okay, what'd you think about it? And they all liked it. Every single person that reached out to me has overall enjoyed it. Now, it wasn't the greatest movie of all time, but they all enjoyed it to various degrees. And when you read some of the reviews are actually very confusing. Some of them have criticized the lack of action, but there was actually one review that talked about how there's non-stop action in the entire movie, and that's actually a negative. So I don't think both can be right. I don't think there can be action all the way through and then no action, and you can use both of those as negatives. I don't really think you can do that. I also saw several sites that said, if you're a fan of the game, I think you'll actually like it. Now, again, they gave it like a 3 out of 5. The highest scores are really just like a 3 out of 5 or 6 out of 10, right? Which isn't amazing, but it's, if you enjoy the games, you'll enjoy the movie. So a lot of people say it's just a knockoff Indiana Jones. I feel like those people have never played the games because, I love the game. I mean, the gaming franchise, Uncharted, is my favorite game franchise of all time, but it is, the whole point of what Uncharted was designed to be is a summer blockbuster, an Indiana Jones type thing. That's literally what it was. So, that's actually kind of accurate. Now, maybe you don't like that, or maybe you do, and I guess that's how the reviews got to the places that they were, but I don't think a lot of these people even know what Uncharted is. It should be flat out honest, or they're going to pretend in the reviews. So here's what I'll say. Here's the final thing I'll say. It truly, and I can't actually believe I'm defending it, at least right now. Now, my tone may change, or my tune may change when I see the movie, but what I've noticed, and what actually people have very much convinced me of online, so I have you guys to thank, I really think it all depends on how you're going into the movie thinking, okay? Now, I'm not saying your line of thinking is right or wrong. It's yours, and you have every right to that, you know what I mean? But I feel like if you just go in and expect this movie, do its own thing, you're going to have to, buy some of the stuff that it's trying to sell. Maybe some of the stuff won't work, but, it's going to be using the Uncharted tropes, or like the actual, like, even set pieces of Uncharted, the game, right? And using it in the movie, and it's just trying to be a fun, lighthearted thing. That's actually what everybody that reached out to me that I've talked to, like, on Twitter, they've all said that. Like, it's fun. It's a little bit of turning off your brain. It's like lighthearted. Like, that's what this movie is. And there's a place for movies like that. So, because I've never really been a fan of them kind of just borrowing aspects of the game and not really doing their own thing, especially when they lied and they said that they were going to do their own thing at first and they took that back. So I've had kind of behind the scenes problems with what they've said about the movie, like, going in. But at the end of the day, I am just kind of going in expecting, or hoping for, I should say, just a fun time. Just, do it. I don't know if I'll ever be able to buy that Mark Wahlberg is Sully, right? That's just a stupid casting choice. But I know a lot of people can't buy Tom as Nathan Drake. That's totally fine too, right? But it's like, I actually do. I kind of do buy it. It's like, you either buy it or you don't, and you go see it or you don't. But I feel like this movie, all it's trying to do, or all that I'm hoping for, is just that it's a fun time. Just turn off your brain, just have some fun, laugh a little, have some cool, action set pieces, whatever. Like, that's all I'm hoping for. And I think actually some of these reviews back it up that it does deliver some of that stuff. So, bottom line, I just wouldn't put too much stock into this at all. I know a lot of people are using it to dunk on it, both PlayStation fans and PlayStation haters, right? People that hate, they're like the trolls online that just hate everything PlayStation does. They would hate Uncharted, the game, for some reason, and so they'll also pick on the movie. But you also have, just like normal people being like, a 40, a 50 on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, I like the games, but I don't know about the movie. But, again, I just kind of implore you, just make up your own mind. I would not go based off of, in fact, for fun, maybe go on Rotten Tomatoes, pick 5 movies that you really love and see what their averages are, right? Because I guarantee you some of them are not going to be very high. I really do. There are universally loved movies that I'm sure do have very high scores on Tomatoes, but again, like, I don't think I'm alone. Maybe I'm alone in thinking Pirates 3 is the best movie in the world, but I do think, if you just came up with like a list of movies you personally enjoy, the odds of them all getting 80s or 90s around Tomatoes isn't very high. I'm sure there's going to be some that have lower scores because that's just the way it is, you know what I mean? And that's why, who cares what Rotten Tomatoes thinks, right? That's my opinion. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. If you want to follow me anywhere else, all my social media, including our Patreon and YouTube memberships, the links are in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. Again, I'll do the Uncharted review in a couple days, so stay tuned for that, and I hope to see you guys there.